Hey Guru Nation, Dance Fair with Daniel Perez from.
Worldwide clinical trials.
There you go. So, look, this is somebody. I first met you at my meetup back in Irvine, California, 2019, pre-COVID,
Wow, that's
the
crazy
year
that it was
before
2019.
COVID, and that was really before, like, at least you didn't appear on my radar yet on LinkedIn like you do now. you know. But after that, I started seeing you posting on LinkedIn more and more, like, and your following has really been growing. Like, this guy, you probably know who he is already. He's got tons of fans out there, right? Because he's so authentic. And I noticed this when I actually interviewed you at my meetup. I was like, oh, this guy is cool. Like, he knows his stuff, and he's not afraid to say it how it is. And that was when you were site director. But you
Yeah.
had a lot of roles like prior to that, and now at the CRO level. So I guess now that you've moved to CRO level, you're on the dark side, like you said. What do you think is like the main difference, I guess, working at a CRO versus sites?
I mean, I'll start with the similarities. I think common ground, from what I've seen, it's been all of 15 seconds at CRO. We all want to do great work. We all want the drug, the compound, whatever it is that we're researching to be massively successful. I think very few of us would have been in this space if we didn't really care about that work. That being said, it's how, when I was training my coordinators, I would teach them this lesson where it's like I'd blindfold them and I'd put something in front of them. And I would say, your job is to guess what is in front of you, only with what you have access to. And some people would guess, oh, it's an owl, it's a horse, it's this, it's that. And then they take the blindfolds off and realize, well, not one of us was wrong. We were just only seeing this thing from a different angle. And so I think coming into the space now, we are all working towards the same goals. We're just seeing different challenges in different places, if that makes sense. So the site level is not going to see the challenges that the CRO is needing to navigate. And the CRO perhaps wouldn't see or understand what the site level issues are. But again, we're all wanting to move in the same general direction. And so I'm excited to come into this space with the last 13 years at site level hospital experience and bridge that gap, because together we're going to be able to go out and drive immense value for our sponsors, but also more importantly, get those drugs and get those therapeutics to the patients. I think that's the biggest goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's the outcome everybody wants. What about diversity, DE&I? You kind of post a lot about this stuff. This stuff's obviously important to you. Your new role in your CRO is that, basically, right?
Yeah, so I think, first of all, huge commitment on worldwide side, not just with the fact that I'm on board in this capacity, which I think speaks volumes on worldwide's commitment, but also the internal work of coming into very, very protected space with the people at the CRO and just understanding what does diversity, equity, and inclusion look like. We kind of all understand the spirit of what it is trying to do and what we're trying to do. But there's also a lot of the invisible effects, imposter syndrome, feeling like you need to overwork to prove, and overextension and the blurred lines of boundaries. And it's one thing where that manifests internally with your team. Then you look at trying to bring clinicians of diverse backgrounds into the folds of clinical research. I mean, regardless of what background you're in, any clinician coming out of training, fellowship, they want to do a good job too. And they're coming out of years and years of training, and then one day they realize this patient's life is in my hand. And it's like the sweating starts. Now imagine being a clinician of color, where you had to prove yourself to be in that school and graduate, and you're still feeling all of those things, plus the imposter syndrome, am I good enough? And, we spend a lot of time talking about supporting and educating research naive sites. It's a whole nother ballpark to enter into the diversity of clinicians. And coming to sites out here, like today we're with your sites at Yuma and Judy's site at Sun Valley Clinical Research. Like, these are very unique barriers to these clinical research sites that we just need to amplify more. And so for me, that's my goal with this opportunity, is to really do less speaking and just hand the mic and the platform to small site owners everywhere and just really advocate for, like, these are the invisible challenges.
Well, you're doing like what CROs, I amazed they don't do this more, especially the bigger ones. Like, you're at a relatively large one, but I mean the mega CROs, they should be out there in these communities getting lunch with the site owners in these underserved communities. You're the first one that came out here. And for Judy, probably she's on her site for 10 years. We can ask her how many. Probably she can count on one hand, if that. And it might just be one. You.
Probably.
Okay, so Huxley Morton, you were on it. I watched it.
Yes.
That was good, man. I didn't know all that story about you.
Yeah.
And you post a lot about, your personal story, single mom. Everybody go follow. By the way, link underneath the video. And we have to do like a 30-minute sit down one day. But research obviously means a lot to you, personally. Do you want to give like a little summary of what it means to you, like what you overcame, the opportunities you have, and maybe somebody's watching similar situation that feels like hopeless?
Yeah. I mean, I think on the personal level, clinical research for me is even just being able to be here, period. In 2013, I was diagnosed with HIV, and had it not been for clinical research and the shoulders of the giants I'm standing on, which are the participants from all those years ago, I literally wouldn't be here. Particularly for a disease indication that the government was almost deliberately, trying to silence, put on the sidelines. In fact, Dr. Fauci was one of the more prominent persons advocating, with patients for the research. So that's how it impacts me. And on the other side too, is being with my mom at her doctor's appointments and her saying that the medication is not working, and seeing the frustration that she goes through, and the clinicians are saying, well, I don't know what to tell you, this drug worked, and then you open up the package insert and you realize Latinos were severely underrepresented in that clinical trial. So can you really say that that drug was efficacious? I don't think so. I think that's a failure on the behalf of pharma. Mm-hmm. So it's important on the personal level side of things. I think career-wise, I never once thought I would be in research. I wanted to become a clinician and go to medical school, and that was the path that I wanted. And there comes a point where you kind of just look back and realize, had things gone the way that you thought picture perfect it would have been, you just wouldn't be living your best dream with the people you met and the experiences you had. So I think being at this point in my career is pretty sweet, pretty surreal, because again, falling off the path on what I thought was falling off, dropping out of school, having to backpedal, taking a different career path, actually made me get to where I need to be today. And I think that's where the most important value of research has been for me.
That's powerful. And everyone watching, like, thinking about career, like, I'm a med school dropout, well, didn't even get to med school, pre-med school, where you think you're like end of the road, you don't have any of the career options. A lot of people just stumble into our industry. And I think now with YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, I'm trying, me and a few others, you also, we're trying to purposefully get people to fall into it. Yeah. I think that's the main difference between, like, when you and I first started, in this industry around the same time, more or less, and now. I think they have a lot of advantages to today.
Yeah, and I think also just seeing more people like us. I didn't come in, first of all, it's like slipping on ice, breaking a disc and a bone, falling into clinical research. Now you get to come into the space, and with programs like the one that you've built out, the CRC Academy, like we're seeing a deliberate effort to train people into it, because when I came into it, it was like, all right, well, here's a protocol. You got your bachelor's degree. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
And that's not, you're not setting us up for success.
And now you'll see when you go to my site, there's a girl, we have two coordinators, one girl bachelor degree, one girl CNA, no bachelor degree. Yeah. Both have the same potential career trajectory. Obviously, degrees matter a little bit at some levels, but absolutely, salary-wise, opportunity-wise, like they are both at the beginning of tremendous potential. Yeah. So I think we just need more people to get to know. More people will get to follow Daniel Perez on LinkedIn right now. Go underneath this video. Thank you so much. We'll do another longer one.
Yeah.
Proper one later. Thank you for the lunch, Daniel.
Of course.
Like, subscribe, comment, share. Bye-bye.